Today, we are talking about self-love, but not in the usual way that we do on this podcast. Instead, we'll be looking at it from the shadow side. We'll be looking at maybe the problem with self-love and how it can actually not be very useful depending on the situation. Specifically, we'll be exploring that very fine line between healing and hiding. But here's what I want to talk about today. There is a version of self-love that strengthens you, and there is a version of self-love that weakens you. I call the version of self-love that weakens you self-coddling. I did not make this up. I heard this from my own coach, so I'm just borrowing it from her. And coddling yourself is when you take comforting yourself too far. Comforting yourself is useful and helpful, but coddling yourself is not. So let me use a illustration, an example, if you will. Let's just say my boyfriend broke up with me. So naturally, I'm sad, I'm angry, I might be feeling insecure, vulnerable, all the things that happen in a breakup. Comforting myself is tending to my emotional wounds, getting support from others. Maybe even I take a break from my usual routine. I skip the gym, order pizza, watch some Netflix for a little while. But I also make room to process and feel that pain. We just did a whole bunch of episodes about feeling your feelings. So those of you who've been following along, that's what I would do. Now, after a while of comforting myself, it's time to get back into my routine, time to reflect on what I've learned and get back into the business of living my best life and maybe even dating again. So coddling myself is not doing that. It's actually remaining stuck in the pain, indulging in it, isolating myself from my friends, family, and pushing people away, not getting the support that I need, and using this breakup and using this pain as a reason to continually not show up in my life. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but Michael, what if this breakup triggered a trauma response and you're depressed? Don't you need to tend to your nervous system? And I say, yes, of course you need to tend to your nervous system, of course. And if you've lived through trauma or deep emotional pain, it makes perfect sense to give yourself a sense of emotional safety, gentleness, and ease. I'm not denying that at all. That's not what I'm saying here. I want to make that point. But I believe at some point, healing isn't just about tending to the wounds. If there's an emotional wound, then in order to heal, there needs to be some scar tissue, right? And emotional scar tissue is what forms when you've gone through something hard like a breakup or anything hard and you come out of it stronger. Not the way you were, because you're never going to be the way you were, but that wound has healed. Not because you ignored the pain or bulldozed your way through it, but because you worked through it and kept showing up. So yes, do tend to your nervous system, but the way that I want to see it is that safety and survival isn't the long-term goal. It's the launch pad for the next thing.